What up, YouTube Gen X? I hope everybody's enjoying the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday and the upcoming Christmas and Happy New Year. I finally have some downtime in which I can actually record. Literally, just when I thought things would kind of like die down, they pick back up. So, if I'm not in the right mind frame, I'm not going to record. But anyways, I already told you guys, I'm a die-hard Laker fan, but I'm also a die-hard NBA fan, and I understand the game critically, right? Most fans are legitimate fans, but when it comes to understanding the financial side of basketball and just a hardcore level as far as the business side of basketball and how that does affect what you see on court, people can't make the connection. So people act as if you can solely talk about what happens on the court, but not talk about the business side behind the scenes. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, I guess you could do it for TV purposes, but as far as realistic conversation, you can't. They influence each other. You can't have one without the other. Right? So anyways, a whole bunch of people have these. As far as Laker Nation, it seems like a lot of people are torn with the whole signing Kobe Bryant to the 2-year extension at the salary that he's getting. A lot of people feel like it's too much. And the part that is so crazy to me, and I think Kobe tweeted this, and I want to say Jalen Rose and Avery Johnson said the same thing. Everybody expects Kobe Bryant to take a pay cut to win, but nobody's asking the organization to say, hey, hit the salary cap. We are part of the reason to why the lockout was longer than what it needed to be, because we're the team Lakers who have the $3 billion Time Warner contract. So the organization is not short on money. So they have no problems in paying that salary cap. It's not going to hit their bottom line. Not like other organizations where, yes, if you look at their books, there may be some sort of issue with, are they making a profit? Because at the end of the day, the NBA is still a business. At the end of the day, if you go over the Lakers books, I think we would all clearly see that this organization is pulling in a lot of fucking money. To the point where them having to pay the salary tax, which yes is a little bit more punitive, or not even a little bit, a whole lot more punitive than what it was in the past, still isn't messing up the fact, isn't messing up their dollars. They're still getting money. It's like you making $10 million, and then the next year, you're making $8.5 million, and you're going up crazy. Oh, I'm making $1.5 million less, but you're still making a whole bunch of money. So it's funny how, Kobe's supposed to take a pay cut to win, but we're not saying the organization, if they want to win, shouldn't be as hesitant to want to dip into the salary tax. And at the end of the day, if you understand the business part of basketball, once again, people want to act as if you can talk about the game without understanding the business side of it. He's still being underpaid. Underpaid as far as what he means to the team. See, what kills me is you have a lot of new Laker fans who think they know the Lakers, but then they don't. And I'm not saying I know them because somehow I just know it, because obviously I'm the same age as some of y'all, right? But I'm more so a fan of just the Lakers history, especially when I look at the early 80s, right? And even Pat Riley and his claim to fame and this, that, and the third. Like, I just love looking at the history of the Lakers, right? So when you look at what a player means to the franchise, that is part of it. He is our squad. People talk about, the Lakers are this prestigious organization. Yes, because it's player driven. That's what it comes down to. It is player driven. When Magic retired, and pretty much our last hurrah was when Michael Jordan beat us in the early 90s in the playoffs, there wasn't anything tight about the Lakers. Players weren't breaking their necks to come play for the Lakers. They just weren't. Why would they? What's the appeal? There's no Magic Johnson there. There's no other superstar there to go play with. What's the appeal? And we didn't trade or somehow flip James Worthy and Byron Scott and Magic Johnson and we got Kobe and Shaq. No. We became relevant again. Why? We got lucky when we drafted Kobe, or at least we had some good scouting and we saw something in Kobe, right? And we got a Shaq who, at that point in his career, remember when he first came to LA, Phil Jackson was not our coach. When he first came to LA, Shaq was still rapping. He was still putting out full albums. He was still trying to act. He was still, a TV personality. So he was trying to get his Hollywood on. So why not come to LA to pursue those ambitions? It wasn't until Shaq really sat him down and said, yo, if you want to win, you need to stop rapping. You need to stop worrying about trying to act and do movies. That's when we became relevant again. The LA fan base is very fickle. If we're not good, we're not going to be relevant. And everybody can see that with the Clippers. To be honest with you, the Clipper fan base isn't that much more different from the Laker fan base. What was the Clipper fan base 3 years ago? Even 2 years ago? Motherfuckers were throwing away Clipper tickets. Every week I got an offer to go to a Clipper game. But we would be on some nah, my show's coming on. I missed it on Monday. They're re-airing it on Tuesday. Man, no, I'm not going to go. I'm good. Yeah, now the Clippers are relevant because they're good. That's just how Laker fans are. We don't have ride or die, diehard fans. It's the NBA or nothing. It's not like we're, in Green Bay or somewhere where, the only thing that we have is our professional football team. Or the only thing that we have is our professional hockey team. Or our professional baseball team. So he is the Laker franchise. As far as this reincarnation of Laker greatness, he is the franchise. So you have to pay him what he's worth. People come to the games. People pay the insane amount for Laker tickets to see Kobe Bryant, not just to be around Laker greatness. Because once again, it's player driven. So of course you got to pay the man. From jersey sales to whatever they have attached to Kobe Bryant that they're making money off of. And the fucked up part about it is he's not even getting paid from the folks who are running LA Live. For those who don't understand, the Staples Center isn't just a Staples Center. Okay, it's part of this, I forgot the owners of it. Is it AEG or something like that? But it's part of this whole downtown type of complex where there's a whole bunch of shops. Not even more shops, but restaurants, this real semi-upscale type of environment. That downtown chic LA type of vibe. Especially on a Laker night. You can see celebrities here, celebrities there. That place is popping because the Lakers are good. And the Lakers are relevant. They're a source of conversation, right? And why is that? It's because of Kobe Bryant. Nobody else but Kobe Bryant, not Laker greatness. And it sucks because people won't understand that until he's gone. And I'll get into rebuilding in a second. So that's just what it is. It's not about the Clippers. Clippers just got relevant. See, that's the part that's annoying. People want to act like Clippers walked into something great. That's why the Clippers will forever, as long as the Clippers play where the Lakers play, they will forever be our little brother. Just how the little brother kind of makes a path, or the older brother makes a path for you to follow. So if your brother's like the cool dude, it's almost like the brother gets to kind of like soak in that, right, till he kind of finds his own way. That's what it is with the Clippers. So all the fame, the appeal, this, that, and the third, in a sense, you're doing nothing more than reaping the benefits from what Kobe Bryant has built. Even when we had Shaq and we were winning, it was just the Staples Center. We didn't have LA Live. And like I said before, if you're not from LA, you won't understand what LA Live is. It's all these, we have the Nokia Theater. It's where they're trying to put the football arena if we get one. It's just a really robust nightlife type of place that people love to go to. You know, well, let's go to the bar to watch the Laker game right by the Staples Center, or let's hang out in front of the Staples Center after the game, yada, yada, yada. That is popping because Kobe made it popping. So you have to pay him because of that. And like I said before, it's insane to me how you can sit there and say Kobe Bryant should take a pay cut while the organization and everybody else is still making a whole bunch of fucking money. And once again, if the Lakers organization is just as committed as Kobe is, they'll kiss the salary cap. They'll take a hit too. Because Kobe's not getting paid what he's worth. Now let's keep the conversation progressing. Now as far as building for the future and doing this and doing that, here's what kills me. Once again, going back to the fact that we have a whole bunch of spoiled NBA fans or spoiled Laker fans. There's nothing sexy about a team rebuilding. And rebuilding doesn't take place overnight. It is a long, painful process. Long and painful. And a lot of the times, it's not even so much about the moves you make, it's about getting lucky. I give you, let's say, Miami Heat. After they won with Shaq and Dwayne Wade, what were they doing? Don't tell me they were building. They weren't building. They just sucked. And by, you know, the stars and whatever you want to call it, it just so happened that contracts worked out, or they were able to land a free agent in LeBron James and Chris Bosh. But they didn't say, you know, we're going to create this situation back in 06 or whenever it was when they won. Rebuilding consists of sucking. There's nothing sexy about rebuilding. Go ahead and look at the Boston Celtics right now. That is rebuilding. There's nothing sexy about that. So I don't understand why everybody's in a rush to say we got to look for the future and do this and do that. We're going to be whacked for a very fucking long time. This idea that we're going to transition into a new glory period is complete bullshit. Complete bullshit. And the whole concept of rebuilding, it's really the same thing as saying we're just going to suck for a very long time. And we're going to hope that we get gold in a draft pick. And we're going to hope that that player turns into a really good player and that we can maybe bring in some other key free agents. So to me, it's really just a waiting game. That's all it is. It's a fucking waiting game. You're sucking. Maybe you're keeping some talent. Maybe you're not. And you're just hoping to get that draft pick that you can build around. There's nothing sexy about that. Like I said before, look at the Boston Celtics. And the dumb part about it is you can be the Celtics and do that because you're in Boston. You have the fucking Patriots. You have the Red Sox. You have the Boston Bruins. There's other things to do. When it comes to sports teams, we're pretty much it. As far as the main draw. Yeah, you can, I guess throw in the Clippers, we'll see. Because they're still kind of brand new. Yeah, you can throw in maybe the Angels and the Dodgers. But the Lakers by far are the head honcho. So don't think for 1 second that even as a fucking Laker fan, we're going to sit there and be okay with rebuilding. And doing this and doing that and sucking. Hoping that draft picks pan out. But like I said before, there's no appeal. Where was the appeal when the Showtime era ended? Where was the fucking appeal? Players weren't breaking their backs to come play for LA. Who am I going to play with? So people talk about, Kobe being in the way, or Kobe should do this, Kobe should do that. If we have any shot, and hear me clearly, if we have any shot at being relevant sooner than later, it's going to be with Kobe Bryant. He is the draw. Why the fuck would you want to come play for the Lakers without a Kobe Bryant? Why would you come play for a team that's going to have a lot of high expectations and you have to fill Kobe's shadow? Fill his 5 championships without Kobe Bryant being there, helping you out and, you kind of doing it together. There's no appeal in that. Don't for 1 second fucking buy what Dwight Howard said about, what are you going to do with Kobe? If you amnesty Kobe, I'll say that's a whole bunch of fucking garbage. Look at Dwight Howard. That's the big shoes to fill. That's the draw. That's the appeal. And then people talk about free agents and doing this and doing that. Once again, people are getting ahead of themselves. Why would LeBron James leave Miami? They will gladly trade away Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and somebody's daughter in order to keep LeBron James. So realistically speaking, the only major piece that we can probably obtain from a contract standpoint, as far as signing a free agent, would be Carmelo Anthony. That's it. As far as big, blockbuster names, that's probably it. So, I'm just not really, like I said before, I get frustrated because I understand the practical side. I'm more than just a fan. I understand the business side behind it and how the business side affects what you see on the court and how you can't look at them separately. So it is what it is. We're spoiled fans. Most of anybody under the age of 34 has pretty much gone through their teenage years and their fucking 20s with the Lakers being good. So everybody thinks that this is how it's supposed to be. This is how dynasties end. Dynasties don't end pretty. They don't end pretty. Go ahead and do your history. Go ahead and look at how the 80s Celtics, look at how they ended. Right? Nobody is going to end as cleanly as the Bulls did because Jordan retired. But I guarantee you, if he would have stayed around, it wouldn't have been as pretty and as illustrious as it is now because dynasties don't end pretty. You don't trade old parts for new parts. You don't, does that make any sort of logical sense? Do you do a straight trade for an old car for a brand new one? No, you don't. I got a 96. I want to do an even trade, right, for the new 2014 model. Straight trade. That makes no logical sense. And then people talk about, draft picks and yada, yada, yada. When you're competing, when you're maintaining a dynasty, let's get that clear. Because not too many people can say that they have been a fan of a dynasty. If you're not a Laker fan, a Chicago fan, a older Celtics fan, then you really can't really speak on a dynasty and what it takes to maintain one. When you have a dynasty, you don't give a fuck about the salary tax. You're trying to maintain you're trying to maintain the whole idea of always playing for a championship or always being right there. You're not worried about draft picks and building for the future because you're winning now. It's the same shit that OKC did. That's why, quite frankly, they fucked their team up. If you're Sam Presti, what future are you trying to build for? You had the best team that you're going to get. You struck gold 3 times. You struck gold 3 times. You got Kevin Durant. You drafted Westbrook. You drafted James Harden. How better is it going to be? What are you building for? When you have a contending team and you have the talent that you need, you have to pay for that talent. And that's why you're going to not necessarily be in the best financial situation when it does end or when it's dying out. With dynasties, it's a poison pill, right? In a sense that as high as you go, you have to realize that's as far as you're going to fall. And the dumb part about it is the only way we're going to possibly alleviate a hard fall, and going into a period where we're just not going to be that team, going back to the days when the Showtime Lakers ended, is with Kobe Bryant. Not without him, or not with shortchanging him, or, not treating him based off of what he's earned and what he is still worth to the organization, both on the court and as a player and for the future. You know, forget the whole me being a fan of Kobe. This is straight logical. You know, so it is what it is. Dynasties don't end pretty. I'll also give you guys San Antonio. Popovich has already said he thinks he only has a couple more years, and quite frankly, he's leaving when Tim Duncan leaves. He's already said it. Ginobili, quite frankly, this may be his last year as far as, you know, being solid just because of how he looked in the finals. Team San Antonio, another team that you can call a dynasty. What are they going to do? Trade Ginobili and Tim Duncan? Is that what you're going to do? No, you're not. So when they retire, guess what's going to happen to the San Antonio Spurs? Even with Tony Parker and Kawhi Leonard, they're going to go back to being a mediocre team and a whack team because their dynasty has ended. That is part of the basketball cycle. Their dynasty has ended. Now, people may say, oh, well, Tim Duncan took a pay cut. Yes, he did. But the San Antonio Spurs are not the Los Angeles Lakers. And Tim Duncan does not have the same worth to his team that Kobe Bryant does. Let's get that clear. I love Tim Duncan to death, but from a business standpoint, I'm not talking about on the court. From a business standpoint, Tim Duncan does not have the same worth to the Spurs that Kobe Bryant does to the Lakers. There is an image that that organization has to maintain. And that image is because of what Kobe Bryant has done and what he continues to do. There's a celebrity rock star swag that the Lakers have. San Antonio doesn't have that. So, of course, they can do the whole Tim Duncan, we want to pay you significantly less. And quite frankly, they're one of the franchises that aren't necessarily generating a whole bunch of money. You know, they had a list of organizations that aren't necessarily making a whole bunch of money, and San Antonio was on that list. So for San Antonio, from a legitimate standpoint, it's like, yo, we can't afford to pay you this much money. From the Lakers standpoint, it's not about literally we can't afford to pay you, Kobe Bryant. We can pay you whatever you want, and we can, quite frankly, pay whatever salary tax penalty we have to pay. Because they got money like that. Simple. So I think I've made my case to why, from all standpoints, the signing of Kobe Bryant for 2 more years makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. This idea that we're going to re-up and retool within the next 2 or 3 years is a fucking complete lack of basketball knowledge. That is just not going to happen. And I'd rather ride out with Kobe into the dark ages versus, okay, let's slowly trickle down into the dark ages. Like I said before, the rebuilding process is code word for we are going to suck for a very long time. That is rebuilding. We're going to suck, and we're going to hope that we get a couple of good draft picks, we get a really good superstar who's championship caliber, and we're able to land free agents here and there. That's rebuilding. Rebuilding is like crossing your fingers. So I don't understand why people are in a rush to go there, but, you know, for me, it just turns into the whole, we have spoiled Laker fans. Where the vast majority of us, from the time we started to like the Lakers and even know the game of basketball, we've always been that team. So people think that this is how it's just supposed to be. No, it's not. All this is overkill. So my standpoint is, why not enjoy it while it lasts? You're looking at a living legend. The part with Michael Jordan that's kind of crazy is, you know, not too many people expected him to retire after he hit the shot. So in a sense, it's like, can we say that we even really truly soaked in and appreciated Jordan's greatness? But with Kobe, we have the opportunity to really just enjoy it. enjoy it for what it's worth. To sit there and say that you got to see the player that is closest to Michael Jordan play. Because we know when it's going to end versus with Jordan, we didn't know when it was going to end in terms of his, legitimate playing days, not the Wizard days. Don't give me that crap. I'm talking about the Bulls, championship, Black Sox in the playoff days. That kind of caught everybody off guard. So it is what it is. I made my case, not even as a Laker fan, but just as a fan of basketball. Like I said, we're not the San Antonio Spurs. We're not even the Boston Celtics. See, the Boston Celtics, they can do that. They can get away with letting go Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett. They can do that because they don't have the same appeal that the Lakers have. And the Boston area has other sports that they can get behind. We don't have that luxury. So, that's my take. Y'all take it easy. God bless.